Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm going to take you through my presentation of how I would have done this project for Stagecraft for your final. This is my interpretation of taking Breaking Bad, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, that TV series, and how I would change it into a play. So here we go. You're going to see all the different pieces that are required for your assignment, and this would be an example of how you could present it. Here we go. So the first thing I'm going to show you is an overhead plot. This is just a rough sketch. Again, what you guys are doing does not need to be to scale, so mine is not. What you can see here is my concept for essentially 2 rooms in one. On the left side is Walter White's home, where he lives with his wife and his son, so that'd be like the normal side of his life. And then on the right hand side, that is Jesse Pinkman's apartment, house, whatever you want to call it, and also will double as the mobile home trailer set. And the reason for my design like this is I actually wanted to show the 2 parallel lives almost at the same time, because I think it really emphasizes what Walter White is going through and trying to lead 2 lives at the same time. So I like the concept of having both sets on the stage at the same time, because in stage you'll never not be able to see the entirety of one or the other. And down at the bottom, you might be wondering what that little rectangle is. That actually what I was thinking would be a TV, and the interesting thing about it is it's a TV from both sides. So Jesse Pinkman could be sitting on our right, but it would be stage left watching TV at the same time. Anyone in the Walter White house could be watching TV from the other side at the same time, but completely unaware of each other because it's theater. But there's my overhead plot for that. It's the having both sets on at the same time and being able to go back and forth, obviously using lighting to emphasize that. This is another set. You can see I actually showed that I can push the entirety of the other set behind a curtain. My little squiggly line is my curtain. This set down below, it's kind of vague, which is how it should be for your guys' designs as well. But on the left, this is actually the classroom. So when Walter White is teaching in his high school, that would be like his whiteboard, blackboard to the left, and then the little boxes are supposed to be student seats, student chairs. Next one is a doctor's office. You can see those waiting chairs and my little plant in the corner. I offset it off to the side in order to make it so that potentially the doctors calling him in could come, anything for the actual doctor's office could be set up on the stage right side. All right, so those are my overhead plots. That's my basic concept. But now I'm going to show you guys my front sketch of the major set. Now, I am not an artist by any means, so please don't make fun of me. But this is a rough sketch, and this is exactly what I'm expecting from you guys as to what I think the set would look like essentially from the front. So what you can see is on the left is the home with a sink and kitchen window behind. The kitchen window comes into play with my lighting, so make sure you pay attention to that. And then on the right is Jesse Pinkman's apartment. And you can see there's a light coming down from the ceiling. The idea is the gas masks and stuff are hanging on the back wall. Now, I went a step above and did one more front sketch. You guys are only required to do one. But what I did is I just showed how that sketch barely changes in order for it to go from Pinkman's apartment to the trailer. So the wall that had the gas masks and stuff hanging from it would change into a window for the mobile home, plus one of those, janky doors for the mobile home that they can go in and out of from there. So those are my actual sketches of the set design. Here is another piece of what you are required to do. These are my research photos for the set. So on the left, you can see my photo that is a concept for what I think the home should look like, Walter White's home. Down on the bottom right is more the idea, the kind of older, worn out, messed up for Pinkman's apartment. And then on the upper right, you can see just a quick photo that I found to take into reference for what the door and the window to the mobile home might look like. These are nothing like amazing, spectacular. They're obviously not exactly what I'm looking for. But they're close. They give you a rough idea of what I might be trying to create. Remember, these photos cannot come from the original TV series or movie that you are creating. So obviously I couldn't put just pictures up of what the house actually looks like in Breaking Bad. I had to find something to how I would interpret it to the stage. That is the most important thing for you guys to remember. All right, so the next piece that you guys have to do is your lighting design. So here is the lighting design. You can see underneath, I actually did kind of a very light sketch of the set underneath. Up at the top, I have the key. So you can see that a rectangle is an ERS, a circle is a Fresnel. On the left, I've got zone 1, 2, 3, and 4 and what they represent. So you can see the 4 circles on my lighting plot. Zone 1 at the top left, zone 2 at the top right, zone 3 at the bottom right, zone 4 at the bottom left. So those are my lighting zones, and then this is my lights. So you can see that from these lights, I've got zone 1, I told you, 2, 4, and 3. And then I've got front lighting for zone 1 right there, zone 2, zone 3, and zone 4. So I took care of all my front lighting. I did not do fancy arrows for you guys for the back lighting, but you can see that I for sure got front lighting for all those zones, so remember that. The other cool thing I've got on here that you can use in your lighting design are specials, and that is essentially kind of just a, fancy light that's doing something in particular. This light right here, that special, is the one that you saw in my front drawing. That is the overhead light that comes down into Pinkman's apartment. So that's what that's supposed to be. That is a little desk light that is intended for the trailer. And then that is another light that I figured would be a floor lamp that would go next to Pinkman's chair in his apartment. There is another light. I did not put an arrow to it, so take a moment to spot it. It is unit 10. It's in the top left. That light I intended to be able to be pointed directly through the kitchen window in order to kind of emulate sunlight. So that was designed, that I put that light specifically for that purpose. All right, so moving on, I've got a breakdown of all these lights. It's going to be kind of just a lot of text when you're not looking at this plot at the same time, but it tells me it is a list of what every light's purpose is. It tells me where my front lights are, my back lights, my special ERS 10, which is my special for the kitchen window. I've got my specials 20, 21, and 22. It's a breakdown. This is for me. So you guys have to create this for me so that I can see what it is that you are exactly designing for. This is part of your grade, so you have to do it. The next big thing is the research photos. I went above and beyond and found one extra picture. You only need 3. So these are just some basic ideas of how I kind of wanted to do the lighting. Lots of front lighting, obviously. For Pinkman's Apartments, I want to utilize a lot of those on-stage special lights to give a lot of the light to create a lot of shadow. That is what I'm hoping to do in my design for that. But then you can also see in the top right, I found a picture with a big bright light coming from a window somewhere in a house, and that's kind of what I want for Walter White's home. Last piece that you guys have to do is just find some costume concepts. These are nothing like specific. Again, you cannot use pictures from the actual characters from the actual movie or TV show. So these are what I found, and they are 3 characters that I chose to focus on. One is Walter White, and I show how I think that he should be dressing. It's approximately the same as the TV show, but slightly different. Jesse Pinkman and Skylar White, Walter White's wife. So that's it. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. I think you guys can handle it. If you have any questions, I'm sure Mrs. Owens can help you. I am here. You can email me as well. But you need to put this presentation together either as a poster board or as PowerPoint like I did. So this was my demonstration of how to do it. I know you guys can do it too.